Hi guys, welcome back. I have hopefully a quickish card for you. I've done all the die cutting just to save a bit of time, and we're going to do a little bit of ink blending, and I'm also going to show you how I created this frame even though I don't have frame dies. So let's get to it. So the first thing I have is some oxides. I'm going to use tumbled glass and chipped sapphire. We're just going to do a very pale, very subtle background, nothing fancy, nothing too testing. So I've got those ready. The frame I'll get to in a minute. I have got a whole bunch of images that I've already cut, coloured. I used my scan and cut to actually cut them out, but I will show you the different sets that I've used. So I used the holiday party animal for the little Christmas hat. So they all have a little hat, which is super cute. And then I'll just leave them on there for a minute. Let's get them off there. So that's the set that I used from Fawn for the little hat. Then I used the Here We Go Waddling for the sentiment, which is this bit down here, this little stamp here, little heart, and also the what's this thing called, lamppost. I've got that as well. That's all we're using from that. And then this is the main set where all the images have come, most of them have come from, which is Critter Concert. And I forgot I had this one, so I decided to drag it out and make it into a Christmas card, kind of like the carolers at Christmas, or a Christmas band, you know, like in the middle of a little town centre or something like that. That's what I had in my head. Anyway, on like a pavilion, is that what they call them? Those like little stage things. So I've actually done each of the characters. I also have used this thing, I don't know what it's called, and I stamped the music sheet on there, and I've also cut that little, it's not a wand, but that thing that the conductor uses, and our little bird is going to be our conductor. Oh, I could have put a little bow on him as well. Anyway, so that's, I'm using the images, the main images from there rather than sentiment. So my card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Yes, that's right. And this red cardstock is a, let me try and think, because there's either Gina K or it is Concord and Ninth. Might be Concord and Ninth, but a nice red cardstock, so it's not that sort of deep red that I think of typically for Christmas, and it looks kind of orange on screen. It's really not orange at all. It's very red, but it's maybe a brighter red than normal. So that's the card base. Then for the main backdrop, I'm using Fawn's Stitched Hillside backdrop in landscape. And I'm using the outer edge and the centerpiece. So the centerpiece is going to become our sky, if you like, because I imagine them outside in the snow, which is what this is going to become. You know, doing their singing and caroling and all that sort of thing. And then to make my my frame, I actually used the large and the small stitched rectangle stackables from Fawn. And I used the largest of the large and the largest of the small and inlay them slightly. And then what I did, and this, I didn't know this was going to work, but it did really perfectly well, so I was really quite chuffed. What I did was before I taped them, I kind of lined them up against this to see whether they would actually work on there. So obviously the largest of the large, which is this outside one, that is the same as an A2, so that will fit across there. But to get this section in here, and what will be that cutout section there, that width, I just kind of guessed, and it worked out perfect, or perfect enough. So if I show you on the die cut pieces, we have this cut out. Obviously it's back to front because this is the other, it will cut the opposite way. And then this is the center piece, and this frame that I've managed to cut out is pretty much the same width. Take that one out, pretty much the same width as this. So if I just bring that up close, you can see I've managed to get them pretty much the same size, and they will fit on there really quite nicely. So look at that. Now I don't know if that was planned by Lawn Fawn, but you know, Lawn Fawn, if you're watching, that was really clever. But it works really well, especially if you don't have the frame dies. So, and I've still got the stitching around the edge. That was also the other key thing, because I just thought that would make a nice little framed scene. So anyway, enough waffle. Let's get to putting it together. So I'm going to start with let's start with this guy. Now I don't need to worry too much if I get it on the frame, because that's going to be covered with the red frame when I'm inking. But this one I want to use my tumbled glass, because I want that paler ink. Let me just move some of this out of the way. I want that paler ink on the, I'm going to use this one, just on the edge here, so it looks like snow. So for this top edge, that's really easy. You're just going to go in with your tumbled glass, and I'm using a, well, it's actually like a makeup brush, but ink blending brush, and just really gently catch the edge of the cardstock. Just really lightly pick up some more there, because you really don't need a lot for it to look like a snowy edge. You want it nice and pale, right? And then to get on the inside of this, because this is cuts out as well, so you can stick things behind there, I'm going to grab, which I should have done already, a piece of, oh, this will do. This might blind you a bit because it's, you know, luminous, but I'm going to use some Post-it type paper and just slide it in underneath into that gap. Something like that, just so that you can just catch that edge again. And then again, just catching that top edge so it looks, it just kind of highlights it so it looks, it's weird, it kind of makes it look like whiter than, you know, like it is white, but it's got a blue hint to it, which I think is nice for a snowy effect. And then if I take this off, you'll see, get that out of the way, you'll see there's just a hint of that blue, which I think is just really pretty. So that's that blue done. Just going to wipe that off. And then I'm going to take the piece that is cut out the center. So this is the piece that would have cut out of there. And this is the one we're going to use for our nighttime sky. And the reason I went with nighttime is because I have a I have the lamps, and the lamps I've made them look like they've got glowing lights in them, so I kind of thought that made sense to have more of a nighttime, maybe dusk kind of thing. So I'm using chipped sapphire for this, and I'm just going to ink that up on a brush thing, and I'm just going to gently go from the top down. I don't want to go all the way, I don't want to cover this because that'll look too block-like, if you know what I mean. So I just want to gently get some colour on here, just so there's a hint of that sort of nighttime feel as it comes down. And I have something weird on there, but anyway. And the cardstock I'm using is Bristol Smooth cardstock, which for me is the best thing to ink with, but I do ink with a lot of different things. I will try any paper. You guys know that if you've been here a while. I'll pick up any piece of paper and card and just see what happens. So I do want it a little darker just near the top edge, just so that it's, you know, a little darker down there. And then I'm going to just really carefully, really lightly, just drag it down a little more, just so it looks a little more blended. Like so, just so you got that nice, and this will almost look like a light shining up. That's what it does in my head. So those are my two inking things done. Just clean up again. And then what I think I will do for this is just add a little bit of spritz. This is just water. I think I'm going to add, I want to add this. I didn't think about this bit, obviously. I'm usually a little more prepared, but so I think I'm just going to spritz a little, just carefully with this. I want a light mist, like stars. Oh, and that's going off in a different angle. I need to clean my nozzle. It's kind of going rah, rah, rah. Anyway. And then I've just got these sort of nice patterns and textures. I've got water everywhere now, guys. Don't know what that was all about. I think my nozzle's a bit blocked. No one likes a blocked nozzle, right? Anyway, so that just gives it a little hint of, oh sorry, a little hint of star spray. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, so before no, let's do this first. So then what I want to do is, I think I'm going to lay this in here. And just temporarily tape it down there. No, I'm not. We're going to just go for it. Right. Let's get that out of the way. So this is my card base. Normally I score them, but living on the edge today. Just going to fold this in half. Best I can. That works. And then I always open mine up just so I can see where that score line is, and then I just start from the top, the bottom, and work up. And also that way if you open it flat, then you've not got this going on while you're trying to work with it. Just, you know, quick tip. Then I want my glue. And when I stick this piece on, I'm going to go all around the edge here and along this bottom edge here, and maybe a little here, but not, I don't want it right on there. I want to be able to stick things inside this section if I need to. So just a little more careful about where I'm going to put my adhesive. And hey, it works. So just along that edge, and maybe this edge here, and that should be enough. Lining up on the bottom. And because it's liquid adhesive, you can get it lined up. You've got it, usually most of them you'll have a couple of seconds before it sticks, if you know what I mean. Just get it lined up as best you can, because I may not have cut my card base that well. So. And then I'm going to pop this one in. This one can just have adhesive all the way around. And should just fit in inside that gap really nicely, like so. And then this guy will go on top of that, and it will just frame that whole scene. Isn't that cute? So I don't know if I'm going to put that on yet. Yes, I think I am. And I'm kind of going in the middle, just in case I need to tuck something underneath the frame. I don't think I'll need to, but you never know. So again, just lining it up as best I can. Remember, this is the frame we made. So it should fit fairly well. Right, so that's what the card base will look like. So now we just need to stick our little guys in place. That over there. Let me do the sentiment and then I can fiddle with where those guys are going. So I'm going to use some archival ink, because why not? And also because I'm going over some inky, what's the name? Water-based ink. Apologies for the head. I thought an archival or a permanent ink would be better. Just a black ink, because I used black for a lot of the other outline images. I love them. Hope your Christmas jingle bell rocks. I thought that was cute. Anyway, so that's that. And then just get my little guy back up. He could be off to the side, doesn't have to be in the centre. Have his little thingy bob like that. And I think that will finish the card. So what I'll do is I will get everything put in place properly, and then I will be back and I will show you the finished card. Right, so now that I've got everything stuck down, I have, this is all flat and the posts. This guy and this guy, I used some, this is scrapbook adhesive. They're quite thin, or not sort of high, maybe 1 mil thick, foam dots. Excuse me. And then I used, this is a little cheapo off off Amazon, but I reckon it's about 2 mil thick. It's about twice as high. And I just cut those and moved the little guys around a bit. The reason I moved them around a bit is because now they're all at different heights. This guy is actually slightly higher than this one, and they're at different positions, and it just kind of looks like they're all, it just gives more, what's the word, interest to the card. I also didn't want the lamppost to look like it was coming out of the top of the owl's head, so I wanted to move him a little bit. So I did that. I coloured the heart in just with an alcohol marker. I thought I had some red hearts, like little clay hearts, but I don't. And then for the eyes, I used a Sakura glaze pen in black. Just sort of brightens the eyes up a little bit. Don't know if you'll catch that on there, but in real life they just give them a little bit of shine, and then some of the noses as well. But the last thing I want to do is add some of this stuff. Oh, sorry. Add some of this stuff. I've had this for about 10 years. I don't even know if they still make this stuff anymore. But this is Distress Stickles in Picket Fence, and I thought that was a great colour for the hats, to give that fluffiness. You could use a Sakura, you could use a what's that? You could use normal stickles in like one of the clear ones, icicle, diamond, any of those sort of things, or you could use the Nouveau White Blizzard. That will work really nicely. I just thought this was just such a different kind, like Distress Stickles work a little differently. They're not really super sparkly shiny like the Nouveau ones or the normal stickles. They just, I don't know, they look kind of like, what's the word? Kind of like they're sugar coated. You know, in the old days when you used to get like sugar coated, not sugar coated, but like, I think they used to call them sugar coated brads. It'll, when it dries, it gives that sort of effect. Anyway, I'm waffling now. So there you go, guys. Other than the colouring, and the cutting out was easy because my machine does it for me, but other than the colouring in, this is actually a really easy card to put together. It's a cute scene. The blending that we did in the background is really, really easy. You don't need a ton of colours for that, and it just gives that hint of colour and depth in the background. And also I like the way we did kind of like an ombre in the background, because on the horizon it kind of looks like there's light coming up, which I think looks just so cool. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, guys, and I hope you like this format of video. I will be back with the next one as soon as I can. I actually got the Spellbinders November card kit, has just arrived today, so stay tuned for that video. I will do the unboxing of that, and then obviously some cards for that, and also keep watching for more of the October kits and the other, what's the other one I do? Simon Says Step. And I will try and bring you as many Christmassy themed things as I can until, from now until Christmas. It's not long now. I think we're on 44 days when I'm making this video. Not long at all. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, guys, and I will stop waffling and I will see you next time. Bye. Bye for now.